Russell Crowe has part-owned the South Sydney Rabbitohs, the rugby league club, and you're a big fan of them. He's known you a long time.
A former board member.
Right, so he said this about you. With all the opaque we've had to deal with for the last 10 or 15 years, we've got a guy, you, who is at least going to tell us the truth. Now, he might not make the decisions that you want individually every time, but over time, what Anthony will do is improve the lives of the people in this country. And he also said you never asked him for anything, unlike everybody else. That's a pretty good review coming from Russell Crowe. I shouldn't think he suffers fools gladly. He thinks you're an honest person. You may make mistakes, you might get things wrong, but essentially you're an honest person. And
I am. And one of the things that I've done as Prime Minister is to say things the way that I see them. So we've got a budget coming up next week. Now, we'll do a number of measures to assist people with the cost of living, but we can't do everything on day one. I haven't been in office for a year yet, and it follows almost a decade of, I think, a government that was characterised by inaction and delay and denial, that we were left with $1 trillion of debt. So we've explained that, but we have fulfilled the commitments that we made in the lead up to the election to the best of our capacity. But of course, all governments and all individuals, including myself, will make mistakes from time to time.
Are you unafraid to admit when you're wrong? I'll give an example. The small boats policy, which is a big issue here, big issue in Australia, what you do with people who wash up on your shores. You were very opposed to it, and you changed your mind.
Correct.
Is that political expediency, the reality?
No, it's looking at the facts the way that they are and being upfront about it.
But you said this in 2015. I couldn't ask someone else to do something I couldn't see myself doing. If people were in a boat, including families and children, I myself couldn't turn that around. But now you can. What changed?
The facts. I didn't think that...
well, you still get people, families and kids turning up in boats, right? I mean, they're still happening.
And they have been turned around.
But are you comfortable with that?
At the time, yes, because if you look at what happened in practice with boat turnbacks, the view of what was occurring was that the advice to us when we were in government that if you tried to do that, then they'd scuttle the boats and it would result in tragedies. So the fact is, though, that the boat turnbacks policy was a part of something that did make a difference. I support an orderly migration program. I have said that you can be strong on borders without being weak on humanity. So one of the things that my government has done, because we have ensured that the boats, contrary to what the Conservatives said before the election campaign, I must say some of the media as well said, oh, well, if Labor's elected, the boats will start and it'll all start back. That hasn't happened. We have kept in place strong border security measures, but we also have an increasingly humane policy. So, for example, the people who had arrived and were in limbo for more than 10 years on temporary protection visas, who no government was going to send back to Iran or to Afghanistan, we have said that they should be entitled to permanent security to become permanent residents as well.
But let me ask you,
we've abolished those temporary protection visas.